Let's have a look at percentages. So the word percent is made up of two parts, per meaning divided and cent meaning 100. Okay, if you think about that, how many cents are there in a dollar? Well, there are 100 cents. Or how many years in a century? There are 100 years in a century. So cent always means 100. So what I've got is a grids where there are 100 little squares. And if I'm talking about 61%, then I'm shading in 61 out of that 100. 61 per 100. That's the same as my 61%. 8%, I'm shading in 8 of those, and so on. 36%, 92%, 25%. So it's saying how many from the 100, how much of that am I using? So if I now think about the words out of, so the word of in maths means to multiply, the word out of in maths means to divide. So I'm going to use that idea here. So this example here, Beth scored in maths, she scored 23 out of 25. So what is that as a percentage? So for maths, 23 out of, meaning divide, 23 out of that. Or you could have written it 23 divided by 25. If I put that into my calculator, then that will give me 0.92. However, I need to turn that into a percentage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 0.92 and I'm going to multiply that by 100. Okay, because remember there's that percent per 100. So if I multiply that by 100, that's going to give me 92%. So in maths, her score was 92% in the Year 10 exam. Let's now have a look at science. So science, she got 42 out of 50, and I want to multiply that by 100. So put that into my calculator, and I will get 84%. Music, she got a score of 4 out of 5, and I need to turn that into a percentage, so multiply that by 100, and that's going to give me 80%. English, 17 out of 20, multiply that by 100, and that will give me 85%. Social studies, got 9 out of 10, again multiply that by 100, and that's going to give me 90%. And art, she got 1 out of 4, multiply that by 100, and that's going to give you 25%. So we've worked out the percentages that she scored in each of the subjects, and now we need to put them in order from the best to the worst. So the best subject, her highest score was maths, so that's her first one. Her next highest score was social studies at 90%. Then the next highest was 85% with English. Then 84% with science. Then music was 80%, and lastly art. Okay, so there is numbers, scores being turned into percentages.